Finally, a bit of Tottenham transfer news before the season starts. I am absolutely buzzing with this one. Tottenham are in talks to sign Savinho from Manchester City, a player who only made his Premier League debut last season, impressed with Girona the season before that in getting their top four finish in La Liga for the first time, was really good in the Champions League, and now he is in talks to join Thomas Frank at Tottenham. This is one that has come out of the blue. It's not done yet, but I wanted to sit down and make this video to tell you guys what to expect if Savinho does join for Spurs. What can he bring? How does this impact our search for a number 10? And how is Thomas Frank going to utilise him in his system heading into the new season? So if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to drop it a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let's get into what Savinho can bring to Tottenham. So firstly, it's worth noting that there's a bit of a contrast between reports on fees for this. So apparently, according to some journalists, a deal around 43 to 45 million pounds is currently being discussed between City and Spurs for Savinho. However, last night Fabrizio Romano said that a deal would cost around 70 million, which is quite a big difference. So we are still waiting for some clarification on how much this deal would actually potentially cost Tottenham Hotspur. We know that the funds are there to go out and sign players. Obviously, we had the 60 million pound bid rejected in the end, or whatever it was, for Morgan Gibbs-White. So we know the money's there. That shouldn't be a problem, but I want to tell you why I'm so excited about the potential of signing Savinho. Because I know that a lot of people were sat there scratching their heads a little bit thinking, do we really need to sign another winger? And on the one hand, yes, we have just lost Heung-min Son, so it would be ideal to bring in a winger to replace him. On the other hand, people would argue that Savinho's best position is on the right wing, so does that potentially allow Kudus to come in and play in the number 10? A lot of people believe that Kudus' position in the future will be in that number 10 role, so maybe we're going to see that switch immediately rather than bed him in there. But Pep Guardiola is very notorious for not standing in players' way if they want out of the club. If they're not fully committed to the project at Manchester City, he is always willing to allow them to leave. It's something he's done throughout his career, and despite Savinho having a contract that runs until 2028, despite City not really wanting to sell him, according to the reports, he could leave. I mean, he had 10 Premier League assists in his first season at Manchester City. If you go on social media and you have a look at how Manchester City fans are reacting to this news, the overwhelming majority, when it comes to a response, are really, really frustrated that this man might be leaving their club. Of course, they have only just signed him. He's a full Brazil international, 13 appearances. Obviously, really, really impressed initially at Atletico Mineiro in Brazil. He then joined Troyes, and then he went to Girona, where he really stood out and caught the attention of City, who obviously have that partnership with Girona as well. But yeah, he scored, I think, 11 goals in his La Liga season before moving to the Premier League. And yeah, he's been really impressive since. He is someone that creates a lot of chances. I think towards the end of last season, he was right at the top of the list for chances created in the Premier League. He's a very, of course, direct winger. He can play on the left, he can play on the right. I think a lot of people say that he is better on the right-hand side, but I have also already spoken to a few Manchester City fans who say that he's actually better as a left winger than a right winger. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see if Spurs do get a deal over the line, because I must reiterate, nothing is done yet, but we are in negotiations. Apparently, Thomas Frank has identified Savinho as someone he really, really wants. They are his top priority, and we are working to make a deal happen. It's very ironic, isn't it, that we've signed Kudus and we're now looking at Savinho, two wingers who I think would have actually thrived in Ange Postecoglou's season, but now we're going out there and dropping all of this money on them after he's left. But look, we have to get over that. We can't complain. Savinho or Savio, however you want to address him these days. I think he changed the name on the back of his shirt to Savio very recently. How is he? What are his stats like in the Premier League? Let's talk about the numbers, because that's what people really, really want to know. Is he a very good player, both on the eye and on paper? The simple answer is yes. While there is a lot of still untapped raw potential for Savinho to improve and become arguably one of the best wingers in the world. There is very much a belief that he has the potential to be able to do that, hence why City fans are so mad about him potentially leaving. There is a lot to like about this player. Now, I'll talk to you about some numbers. In the Premier League last season, he played, 1,700 odd minutes, so he was very, very involved in City's starting 11, also coming in off the bench. He improved as the season went on as well. I think a lot would say that Savinho was their best winger last season, maybe before Marmoush came in January. But yeah, of course, he's left-footed, so that does suit him more maybe to a right-wing role. He's only 21 years old, so it fits the ethos that Spurs love to sign young, really exciting players. But again, what do the numbers say? So last season in the Premier League, he averaged about 5.76 take-ons every single game, which is one of the highest in the league. I'm not sure in terms of names who actually beat him there, but you know that he's lightning quick. He's one of the best dribblers of the ball in the entire world. There is not a doubt in my mind that is the case. And I said something very, very similar when I recorded my video about us signing Mohamed Kudus. So there's a very clear theme going on here. 5.76 take-ons attempted. His success rate is slightly low as it stands. Only 46% of his take-ons are successful, but you know, when you're watching someone as easy on the eye as Savinho and as good, you don't mind it as much. Carries into the penalty area. There is not a better player for carrying the ball into the penalty box last season than Savinho, doing it nearly 4 times every single match, which is insane to me. It's also backed up by passes into the penalty area, nearly 3 of those. Touches in the opposition box every game, 8 on average. 12.5 progressive passes recorded. 2.29 carries into the final third. So he's aggressive in his attacking movements. He will link up really, really well with the midfielders, the 1-2s, the give and goes. But then the best thing about this potential signing is he can also do everything else. He can take his man on. He has that burst of speed. His crossing is actually pretty good, so he can provide on one side to Dominic Solanke and have someone else provide to him on the other side. Successful dribble rate, as I've already mentioned, maybe needs a little bit of work, but that will come as time passes. There is just such a lot of promising numbers to look at when it comes to studying Savinho. There's actually something that Opta put out towards the end of last season where it said that Savinho has created more chances from open play per 90 minutes in the Premier League this season than anyone who's made 5+ starts. So he'd created 2.7 chances per 90 minutes at that point. He also ranked 3rd for progressive passes and 4th for successful dribbles in the competition. Now, we take it with a little bit of pinch of salt, right? Because he did play for Manchester City, who are notoriously one of the more dominant teams in the Premier League. They have a lot of the ball. They score a lot of goals. Yes, but Tottenham need this, especially when you consider how much of a struggle it has been so far to score goals under Thomas Frank. The attacking threat has really, really lacked. There have been big struggles in terms of finding an out ball. Mohamed Kudus has had to do a lot of the work on his own, but Savinho, lightning quick on the counter-attack, really, really creative, gets the ball into the box, can drive past opponents. He's got it all in abundance, and that is what makes me so excited about this kind of signing. Like I said, last season, 29 games played in the Premier League, 10 assists in his debut campaign, only 1 goal, and this is the biggest area that he needs to improve in, is his goal scoring. I think City fans obviously let it slide last season because they have so many other goal scorers in their squad. At Tottenham, it will get noticed a lot more just because Solanke doesn't necessarily score the most goals in the world. We've lost Son, we've lost Maddison, we've lost Kulusevski, which is nearly like 70 odd goal contributions across the season that we're going into the new campaign with Thomas Frank without. That is something that needs replacing. So I do think if we were to sign Savinho, he would be expected to put the ball in the net more often than he was able to last season, which is a big thing for us, of course, as well. When we look a little bit deeper and we look at him in comparison to other attacking midfielders / wingers across Europe, it is just absolute music to my ears what we are seeing, what we are hearing about him. Progressive carries compared to every other winger in Europe, ranks in the top 96% percentile across the globe, meaning that there are only 4% of wingers on the planet that are better than him in that area. The same for successful take-ons, ranks in the 94th percentile. The same with touches in the attacking box, 94th percentile. Progressive passes received, 96th percentile. Really, really great. And another stat that I want to bring to your attention is his shot creating action. So either playing a pass that allows his teammate to shoot or opening up the space for him to have a shot as well. 5.1 of those per 90 minutes, ranks in the 88th percentile for wingers across Europe. Now, if you want to compare him to other wingers on the continent, Football Ref has this really, really good feature where it compares the stats and it brings up the most similar players to him. I'll just read you the list of players compared to Savinho. At the top, Lamine Yamal. Second, Heung-min Son. Third, Vinicius Jr. Fourth, Kvaratskhelia. Fifth, Florian Wirtz. Sixth, Bukayo Saka. That is an incredibly good list, and that is excellent company for Savinho to be in. So overall, this is a signing that would be incredibly exciting for Tottenham. He is someone that would bring a new dynamic when it comes to attacking, taking on his men, delivering crosses, just getting Spurs up the pitch and being more aggressive in the final third, which is something I really, really need. How does it affect Tottenham's chances of going for a number 10? I still think we need to sign a number 10 on top of Savinho. I would personally love to see Mohamed Kudus on the right-hand side. I would love to see Savinho potentially on the left. If not, you could flip him around, you could rotate. I know Dejan Kulusevski will come back and he could potentially move into that number 10. But if we were to go out and sign someone like Bilal El Khanous on top and pay the 25 million release clause, he can play in the number 10. And I think that just really adds to our attacking options, which is what we need attacking reinforcements. We need players that are going to take us to that next level, because our front three at the moment just isn't really that exciting when you look at it. Solanke's injured, so you got Richarlison there. Brennan Johnson started left wing against Bayern Munich. Kudus is obviously great, but he can't do everything on his own. So I'm really happy about these links. I know a lot of people are a bit confused as to why they would go for someone like Savinho. But there are a lot of reasons that I've hopefully highlighted to you in this video why he would be a really, really good pickup by Thomas Frank. They are just having the likes of Kudus and Savinho on each flank is like bums off the chair type football. They are players that get you really excited. They give you those wow moments. And I mean, that fits into the Tottenham ethos as well, really, doesn't it? Playing attractive, attacking, fast-paced football. The 21-year-old is reportedly open to the move to Spurs, which is the main thing. If a player wants to come to Tottenham, it makes the deal a lot easier to achieve. It is more feasible, so we can only wait and see about updates on this. Let me know what you think of this move down in the comments below. Do you think Savinho would be a good signing for Spurs? How much would you be willing to pay for him? And do you think we still need to see a number 10 arrive at the club this summer? Thank you so much for watching. Once again, if you did enjoy the video, please feel free to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 5k subs by the end of the 25-26 season. That is the ultimate goal, so if you can help me out with that, I would appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your week. Let's hope that we can get this deal over the line. And as always, come on you Spurs.